So I've been talking about this for a couple of days now, and I've been tweeting about it for some time. And I tweeted days ago, it's unlikely that January 6th was the last riot, or at least the last attempted riot. And indeed, ABC has now obtained an FBI bulletin, which is warning all 50 states and federal law enforcement that armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals. It's expected to start as soon as days from today and run at least through Inauguration Day on January 20th. Armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals and in Washington, D.C. If you've been following some of what's been happening on the right-wing social media platform Parler, you probably also know that at least the language around going armed this time is significantly scarier and more belligerent. In terms of weapons in D.C. January 6th, there are anecdotally stories and some pictures of what appear to be armed insurrectionists, although it is not clear that that was an overwhelming issue on January 6th. And of course, Washington, D.C. gun laws are far stricter than the gun laws in many of the states from which the insurrectionists came. On Parler, increasingly, the language about going armed to the next series of riots is significantly more belligerent. And to the extent that some of these riots, rather than being in Washington, D.C., are going to be at state capitals, it is likely that many of these would-be insurrectionists will not only be armed at the future protests, but they will be armed legally. OK, the FBI has also received information about a group that is calling for storming courthouses as well as administrative buildings if Donald Trump is removed from office anytime prior to Inauguration Day, or if Trump is impeached by the House of Representatives, or storming once Joe Biden is sworn in, which he will be on January 20th, regardless of what else happens between now and then. So there's a few thoughts about this. Number one, the reality is that this isn't we will do this only if Trump is impeached or only if Trump is removed by the 25th Amendment. The reality is that the likelihood of this happening again is under any circumstance in which Joe Biden becomes president. So when I hear members of the Republican Party saying we have to heal and move on, impeachment would be divisive, it's time to go, Trump reduced the temperature with his ridiculous 1-minute video last week or whatever, they, number one, are clearly downplaying the current threat level. But most importantly, it doesn't matter what the House or Senate do. The terrorists supporting the QAnon garbage aren't going to change their minds. They're not going to stop. If and when Joe Biden becomes president, and he's going to, it is likely that we are going to see more of this. And that's horrifying. The only way that these people don't do it is if somehow Trump is allowed to remain president. That's the only condition that they will accept, which is, of course, unacceptable to society. It's incongruent with the law and it can't be allowed to happen. So that's the reality. There will be right-wing violence if Joe Biden is sworn in. There will be right-wing violence if Donald Trump is impeached. There will be right-wing violence if Donald Trump is removed via the 25th Amendment. There will be right-wing violence if Trump resigns because he will have been forced to resign, is the way that they will see it. So unfortunately, if there's going to be violence, there's going to be violence merely because Donald Trump didn't get another 4 years. They're not rational. They've tied their identity to Donald Trump, and Trump is leaving. And they're angry. They are irrational. Many of them feel lost. They're not interested in governance or policy or the rule of law. And they've gone over the line and turned to violence instead of respecting our institutions. That's it. That's the full story. Now, we can pull in how much of it is economic anxiety, how much of it is racism, how much is xenophobia, how much of it is cognitive dissonance or ignorance. What role does mental illness or incel culture play? Great. But a line has been crossed where any scenario in which Donald Trump doesn't get another 4 years, to some portion of these people warrants violence. And that's why the FBI is now worried about what looks to be likely over the next week. So let's all be safe. Let's all be careful. And we're going to continue following all of this, as well as what will the House of Representatives and Senate do, and Mike Pence potentially, about Donald Trump. I believe he will be president all the way to January 20th at noon. We will have more about this on our Instagram page. Find us on Instagram at David Pakman Show. And you can also find me on Instagram at david.pakman. If you are anything like me, you probably aren't thrilled with the idea of going into a doctor's office right now. And thankfully, there's a practical and affordable way to take control of your health and get personalized care from the comfort of your home. It's a service called SteadyMD. They're one of our sponsors. You take a quiz, you get matched with a licensed primary care physician who understands your health needs. You have a 1-hour video call with your new doctor. You establish a meaningful relationship with them. And after that, your doctor is available to you anytime by text, phone, or video chat. This is not a random doctor on call. Each doctor at SteadyMD has a limited number of patients, so they actually have time to listen to you. You get the personal attention that you deserve. They can do almost everything an in-person doctor can do: perform medical evaluations, talk to you about health concerns, send prescriptions to your home or local pharmacy, and anything they can't do online, they'll quickly set you up with an in-person provider to do, things like blood tests, as an example. You don't need insurance. It's only $99 a month with no other fees or copays. I took their quiz. They matched me with a doctor who specializes in my particular health needs and situation. The doctor they gave me is a really perfect fit for me and my medical needs. They have a special offer only for my audience. You'll get 50% off your first month, but only until January 31st. So make sure to sign up soon. Click the link right underneath this video.